What up, and welcome to Maggie and Perloff. And while everybody is here enjoying these NBA finals and talking about how incredible the talent is, and beyond that, the defense, and there's so many intriguing storylines, here is Andrew Perloff coming in on a Wednesday before Game 6 to tell us he thinks that these finals suck.
No. It's entertaining. It's compelling because it's very, very close. And,
Yes.
it's basically nothing separating these two teams. But, Maggie, you can't possibly tell me that these are two great finals teams. Like, if you wanted to divide the finals into thirds based on quality of how good the teams are.
Like all-time finals?
Like, let's say the last 50 years. There's no doubt in my
50, that's all? Okay.
There's no doubt in my mind this is a bottom third quality-wise. Like, honestly, like these teams would have gotten slaughtered 8 years ago.
Okay, but you don't want to just do a comparison of like who could play in the older era and what person could play in this era. We're not trying to do that kind of thing. Why do you think these teams aren't that good?
I just don't think these are two great finals teams. I think Boston's a very flawed team, which we've seen. You know exactly the reasons why. Basically, Tatum and Brown are not ready to carry a team to the finals. They're getting no help from their bench, which is basically filled with journeymen. Then Golden State is sort of a shadow of the great Golden State team. The Golden State team from 8 years ago would sweep this Golden State team. Basically, you have maybe the same stuff, but you have a much weakened Clay. You have a much weakened Draymond. And, no
KD.
You have a shadow of the team. I'm not even talking about the KD Warriors. That's a totally different class. I'm talking about the original champion Warriors, the one that won in 15. Like, that was such a better team. I'd argue Steph was a better player back then, too. I don't think he's amazing still, but I don't think he's quite as active as he was back then. So basically, this is the new norm in the NBA. We have very, very flawed teams advancing to the finals. So I just think it's a sign of parity because these are not great teams. I'd be surprised if either of them are back here next year.
Okay. How many, who do you hold up as the pinnacle of the all-time great teams? Are you talking about the Jordan teams? Are you talking about who else? Obviously, the Warriors team. Well, obviously, you think with Durant.
Obviously, the 80s, the Lakers and the Celtics.
Okay.
There's nobody's going to argue that.
Of course.
The 90s, the Bulls. The 2000s, the Shaq Kobe Lakers. The Duncan Spurs.
So just the teams that were winning were the dynasties. What about, do you consider the Pistons a great team?
The Isaiah Pistons or the Rasheed Wallace Pistons?
The Rasheed Wallace.
No. Like, that's to me, like, those teams are like one and done kind of championship teams. Okay. Those are not great teams. Those are not great finals teams. To me, like, to be a great finals team, you have to have like such a strong like group that you're going to be there year in and year out. And I don't think we're seeing teams like that come up in the NBA anymore. I
know, but we're watching the Warriors. Even if they're not as good as a previous iteration, they're still back and they still have a lead in these finals. Don't they have to, just by virtue of having the same core, don't they have to apply?
I feel like this is a totally different Warriors team. This is not, I don't know. No, it doesn't count because they haven't been back there since, when was the last time they were in the finals?
2019.
Yes. This is a totally different Warriors team. It doesn't count. Like, I feel like it's a different thing.
Did you think that last year the Bucks or the Suns were great teams?
I think the Bucks are a borderline great team.
Okay. A team that went down 0-2 in the finals and stormed its way back. Yeah. Would we, if I polled you after they were down 0-2, would you have said the same thing?
No, but I bet you they won a lot more games than the Celtics did last year. I assume they were like a 63-team win.
Yeah, but the only thing about regular season wins in this day and age, load management, like, I don't know how much teams care about getting the number one seed or having home court advantage even early through this playoffs. Like, I don't know how important that is as opposed to rest. We saw with the Toronto Raptors. Obviously, rest for Kawhi was much more important than anything else.
Honestly, no, the Bucks were not a great team. That Raptors team, like, we're not seeing great teams in the finals.
And you don't think there's great teams anymore?
No, I think we're done. I think we're going to see different champions every year. Honestly, I don't think we're going to see a dynasty for a long time in the NBA. I think it's structural.
Wow. So congratulations, everybody. You lived through history. You lived through great teams. No more, according to Andrew Perloff. It's over.
Let me give you some numbers.
Okay.
This will be the first time, if the Warriors win, we've had 4 different champions in 4 years since 1977. It's been that long since we've had a span. Now, in 1975, you went Warriors, Celtics, Blazers, Bullets, Sonics, then Lakers, the winning time Lakers.
Sure.
That's the kind of era we're in. We're going to see a different team every year.
And how long do you think this is going to last? Forever? Perpetuity?
I think maybe a decade.
Okay.
So I think we'll see like 7 or 8 different champions in the 2020s.
Is this purely because you don't think there's a far and away best player in the NBA right now? Because there is. It's Giannis. Why wouldn't the Bucks be able to pull off a dynasty? Because you could see the Bucks winning next year if they stayed healthy. They might even be in these finals.
Yeah, no, if they were healthy, they were definitely the best team. But no, I don't think.
And if the Warriors had been healthy, if Clay and Steph both hadn't gotten hurt,
honestly,
they could have won another one in between 19 and now.
But yeah, but Clay got hurt.
Right, and Giannis got hurt. But you're saying if Giannis hadn't gotten hurt, they could have been back. Like if Giannis is fully.
No, you mean Middleton.
I mean Middleton, pardon me. But if the Bucks hadn't suffered an injury, right, that's just part of it. But you could say that the Bucks still could be the Bucks could be a dynasty.
I don't know. Nah, I don't think so. Holiday, Middleton, Giannis. No, I mean they're probably the best team. The Suns and them are probably the best teams on paper, but they're not complete like the Kevin Durant Warriors or like the Tim Duncan Spurs. They're not in that caliber at all to me. Are they to you? Or like the Shaq Kobe Lakers?
Well, no, but that's what makes those teams so particularly special. But just because we have like elite teams that were dynasties doesn't mean I think it couldn't happen again. Like if you give Giannis, no matter who the supporting cast is, you're always going to have a shot.
A shot, but I don't see them like this decade, the 2020s. How many titles do the Bucks come out with?
I mean, would you be shocked if they won 3?
Yes, I'd be surprised. I think there's so much parity in the NBA. That's my whole point. I think it's going to switch again and again and again. It's very, very hard to have a run. I think it has something to do with the way like superstars approach the league right now.
Okay.
Like they don't want to, like I don't think they're going to super team it up like they did with LeBron.
Okay, so there you go. Maybe you having, I mean, these are all good points. They're valid. It's making me think. I'm wondering if that's part of it, which is the super max and the advent and the backlash to the super team in some ways, which, I mean, to be honest though, like the super team is still going to be in vogue. I really think that. And I do think that Miami looks like they could be looking for another superstar. Like we're not done with the era of the super team, but the super max might have a bit to do with it because if your team can pay you the most possible, once you're, eligible off your rookie deal, it's hard to leave when someone's offering you like $225 million. It's hard to say thanks, but no thanks.
Yeah. I think you're absolutely right. I think a couple more reasons. There's not going to be a LeBron again. I don't think like once he leaves, I mean, do you see another?
What about Bronny?
No, Bronny's going to be closer.
No offense, that kid might not.
He's going to be
might not have the same stuff.
Ron Harper Jr. or Tim Hardaway Jr. than LeBron James Jr. So not only that, I think the Warriors came out in the 10s and they sort of surprised the NBA. Everybody copied their team. Like all of a sudden, they moved the game 10 feet beyond the 3-point line.
Right.
Now everybody's doing that. So I don't think anybody's going to catch you by surprise or the whole new style again. So we're not going to see another Warriors because everybody's copying them. I don't think we're going to see another LeBron team, and I definitely do not think there's another Spurs team on it. So who's the super team? Where is it going to come from? We've already had 3 years in this. This will be the third finals to end in this decade.
Yeah.
3 different champions. Could you see a 4th, a 5th, a 6th, a 7th? Could you see John Morant winning one, Luka winning one, the Phoenix Suns winning one? I mean, I just think it's an incredible.
Maybe
era.
Miami finally breaks through with this iteration with Jimmy Butler. Maybe not. I don't know.
They're a little old, but yeah. Yeah, that could definitely be. Maybe this Celtics team wins.
What about the Nets? What if Kyrie and Durant run it back?
Right. But like this is not how it used to be. Like 8 years ago, 9 years ago, we knew who was going to be in the finals.
Yeah, and it's a credit to the NBA that we knew who was going to be in the finals and we still loved it.
Well, maybe
you knew it was going to be Cavs Warriors and it was cool. Or LeBron against the Warriors or whatever.
Well, we love the dynasties, and maybe the NBA is going to be hurt because there's no dynasties, or maybe it'll be like the NFL where nobody repeats.
Well, I was going to say, it works for the NFL.
Yeah.
Where you care about the small market teams just as you do the big market teams. It doesn't matter. Yeah. I mean, I think fantasy has a lot to do with that. Gambling has a lot to do with that. But I can't tell if that's going to be good or bad. I do think people love basketball dynasties.
Yeah, I think they do.
It's an easy villain.
Yeah, they like Jordan Bulls. They liked... they loved Kobe and Shaq together. That was fascinating.
Yeah, unfortunately, Kobe and Shaq didn't love being together.
Yeah, now of course I could be totally wrong, and a new LeBron could come along. That's the other question. That's the other question. What happens after LeBron retires?
Okay, but
what happens to the league?
Well, I don't know if you're going to have like a LeBron of somebody who out of high school. I mean, Zion would probably be the closest one, but he hasn't been able to stay healthy. Like you have someone who's out of high school with all the hype, and then exceeds the expectations. Like that is just so incredibly hard. But I would say in terms of like all-time great players, I feel like Giannis has the ability to be carrying a team year after year. I know they just lost to the Celtics this year. I'm not stupid, but year after year where you could build multiple different types of teams around him, but him as the focal point.
Maybe, yeah, that's a good one. I'm not sure he can shoot well enough to do that, though.
But he keeps adding stuff to his game every year. Like, he also has the desire, and I don't think just winning one title is satisfying him. He seems like he's that guy who wants to be an inner circle Hall of Famer. Not just the Hall of Famer.
But I wonder if his style of play is really going to be the kind that's going to win multiple. Like, he's still flawed. He's not a three. I know he's taking more 3-pointers, but it's hardly dangerous. So I don't feel like he's that level player. Maybe I'm underestimating him. I feel like maybe it's John Morant or maybe it's Luka.
Maybe it's John Morant. Maybe it is Luka. Luka's going to need some more help.
Yeah.
That is not
absolutely.
That's not a team that's ready to win right now. And John Morant, they just all need to get a little bit more experience, more mature. Obviously, look at the Celtics right now. They clearly look like the team with less experience.
Yeah, notice we haven't mentioned Jason Tatum's name. I mean, here's a question about this finals, and I want to put it to you. Do you think this has been quality basketball, good basketball?
I think there's been stretches where I felt like this is amazing. And it was Steph's 43-point game where I was like, wow, look at what we're watching here. But there have been some blowouts, but that's happened in finals. That's totally happened in finals. Remember the Heat and Spurs. Remember they were like trading blowouts, in that finals. And that one was over pretty quickly, actually. The Spurs, I believe, won that in 5, right? LeBron's last year in Miami. I think this is overall probably been better than we give it credit for because the defenses are legit. We're not seeing a lot of amazing scoring, but the defense has been really good. And I think we're just, that's not as fans, that's not kind of what we want to see. We want to see amazing offensive, crazy performances.
Right. The losing team has not scored over 100 points except for game 1.
Right.
Like, it's been very low scoring. The turnovers, you can't ignore that. It's the sloppiest finals. Jason Tatum just set the all-time record for turnovers in the postseason. Of course, it was like LeBron was up there too. So it's not necessarily
he's also played a ton of games.
Yeah, no, he's been amazing. But I just think like it's been kind of like subpar finals basketball. Like, this is not, you're not going to put this up with the Kyrie, LeBron, Cavs versus the peak Warriors. That's sort of what I'm getting at. It's just like, it's kind of like, it feels like the NBA now is these one-off finals matchups.
Very interesting. Do you feel like the era of the dynasty is dead? Will we see another dynasty? Is that what you want to ask?
Yeah, I mean, like, basically, is this a norm now where we just see 2 random teams playing the finals?
Just a no.
Like, whoever just happens to stay healthy, yeah.
Yeah, we're not going to get, like, the repeat storylines and the building up to multiple meetings in the finals.
Yeah, I mean, unless these Warriors that we're watching right now go on a run, which is not going to be easy. They're not a perfect team, Maggie. I mean, like, they definitely, like, have some holes.
They're not a perfect team, but they're a great team.
Yeah.
I think the Celtics are a great team.
Really? Okay.
Is that a hot take? The Celtics are a great team. It's 3-2 in the finals.
I really think, like, wait till next year's playoffs. I think teams are going to get both of these teams. I really do. And I think, but you said, like, I would have said after last year, there's no way Giannis is not getting to the finals.
Well, that's what happens with injuries and stuff.
Yeah.
But I have no doubt that Giannis is going to be back.
And at a certain point, too, by the way, I would have said the Nets are the NBA super team as well.
We have a super team that it got broken up because James Harden didn't want to deal.
Yeah, it's just like, it just feels like we are in a really sporadic NBA right now.
Interesting.
I don't know if that's good or bad. I do think, like, the real conversation is, like, how is the league going to deal with the post-LeBron era? Who's going to... And Curry, too. When both those guys go away, are they going to have a lull?
I mean, Curry's, 34?
Yeah.
He can do this for... you're not going to have to make this decision, though, for quite a while. Like, LeBron's not retiring. First of all, we know that he wants to play with Bronny. He's not eligible in 2024. We know that he wants, like, some kind of team ownership. It would make the most sense for him to play for an expansion team in Vegas rather than own one. So maybe he tries to do both in some sort of way to skirt the rules or something. I mean, these guys aren't going anywhere. It's like Brady and Rodgers. They never retired. Nobody ever retires anymore.
People are going to have to let go at some point. At some point, the NBA is going to have a post-LeBron era, just like it did the post-MJ era.
You want to know what's crazy about it? Even when they have a post-LeBron era, he's still going to be around. If he owns a team, you don't think LeBron's, what is he going to delete his social accounts, stop making movies, not have a... Jordan got a 10-part documentary. How many parts do you think LeBron's documentary is going to have?
But
just infinity.
Jordan immediately jumped into ownership and nobody cared. Like, it's not the same.
Because his team is not good.
Well, it didn't
nor
matter.
all that interesting.
There is no comparison having Jordan winning titles with the Bulls and him owning a team. Like, it's not the same. Fans don't care who owns what.
I know, but the only thing about Jordan also was when he came back with the Wizards, it was like, all right, we got it. You know, that wasn't exactly, it just wasn't the old Jordan. It just wasn't him. And then you had all these young guys who were trying to come and, like, you know, challenge Jordan, Kobe, AI, whatever. And it was just kind of an unsatisfying ending to a legendary career.
Are you ready for the reality that LeBron is going to be that age? He's going to be, and it's going to happen to him. He's going to get crossed over by the new Allen Iverson. Ja Morant's going to dunk on LeBron. It's going to be ugly. It's going to be ugly, Maggie.
Thank you for watching our video. Please like, comment, and subscribe. And if you want to see more videos like this, just hit the bell.
Yeah, ring the bell.
Just hit the bell.